Wife texted at 2 a.m. Busy now, I'll call after. I replied, don't bother. Stay with him. My line's close to you. 10 minutes later, she was at the door, panicking. I'm Knox, 35, and I restore luxury watches for collectors who pay stupid money to bring dead timepieces back to life. Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin, pieces worth more than most people's houses. My workshop sits in an old brewery building converted to artisan spaces. Every day, I work with mechanisms so intricate that a single misplaced spring can destroy months of work. My wife Kira runs an urban beekeeping company. Yeah, I know, sounds like something out of a hipster fever dream, but she's built a legitimate business installing and maintaining rooftop hives for corporations wanting to look environmentally conscious. She's good at it too. Really good. We've been married 8 years. 2 kids, Theo's 6, obsessed with dinosaurs, and Luna just turned 4, currently in her everything is purple phase. We had what I thought was a solid marriage. Not perfect, but whose is? We divided responsibilities, showed up for each other, had date nights when her mom could watch the kids. The changes started small. New perfume, something with jasmine that replaced the honey sweet scent that used to cling to her clothes. She started taking calls in the garage instead of the kitchen. Password on her phone changed from our anniversary date to something I didn't know. Client privacy, she explained when I asked about the garage calls. These companies get paranoid about their sustainability initiatives leaking before quarterly reports. Made sense. I didn't push. Trust, right? That's what marriage is built on. Then came Henry. This drone racing guy is amazing, Kira mentioned over dinner one night, scrolling through her tablet. Henry from the Racing Federation. He's offering to do aerial surveys of our hive installations. The footage would be incredible for marketing. The way she said his name, that should have been my first warning. There was a softness to it, like she was tasting something sweet. Drone Racing Federation? I asked, focusing on plating the kids' spaghetti into dinosaur shapes for Theo. He manages a professional team. Says he can get us thermal imaging, proximity shots, stuff that would usually cost thousands. For free? She laughed. Not her usual laugh. Something lighter, more musical. He's interested in the environmental angle. Wants to build connections with green businesses for sponsorships. I nodded, returned to cutting Luna's meatballs into perfect quarters. In my work, I've learned to recognize when a mechanism sounds off, a click that shouldn't be there, resistance where movement should flow smooth. Our conversation had that same quality, but I ignored it. Tuesday nights became client development meetings. Thursdays were site inspections. Her business was growing, new contracts rolling in, so who was I to question success? She'd come home energized, chattering about expansion plans and revenue projections. But the details felt rehearsed. Like she was reciting lines rather than sharing experiences. A month ago, she forgot to empty her blazer pockets before throwing it in the laundry. I found a valet parking stub from the Grandview Hotel, timestamp 2:47 p.m. on a Saturday. That same Saturday she'd supposedly driven upstate for a beekeeping conference. I remembered because I'd spent the day teaching Theo to ride his bike without training wheels, wishing she could have seen his first solo ride. I kept the receipt. Placed it in my workbench drawer next to the spare mainsprings and pivot gauges. 2 weeks later, she left her laptop open on the kitchen counter. An email notification popped up, from Henry. I didn't open it, but the preview showed enough. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Same place? Wednesday wasn't one of her usual meeting days. I started paying attention differently. Not paranoid surveillance, just awareness. Like when I'm diagnosing a watch complication, documenting symptoms before diving into the mechanism. Her phone face down during meals now. She'd pause mid-sentence when texts came through, eyes flicking to the screen before forcing attention back to whatever we'd been discussing. She started showering immediately after coming home, even from office days. The evidence accumulated like dust on a neglected movement. A second hotel receipt fell out of her gym bag. Unexplained charges on our credit card statement for lunches at places she'd never mentioned. The way she'd tense up when I asked simple questions about her day, then overcompensate with too many details. I could have confronted her. Should have, maybe. But I needed to be sure. In my work, you don't start disassembling a mechanism based on assumptions. You diagnose completely, understand the full scope of damage before you begin repairs. Or before you decide something can't be fixed. Tonight, she's at another late meeting. Kids are asleep. I'm in my workshop, struggling to focus on a 1950s Omega constellation, when I decide to check her blazer pockets before tomorrow's dry cleaning run. It's become a habit now, this searching. I hate myself for it, but I hate the not knowing more. That's when I find it. Another receipt. Same hotel. But this time, there's more. A room number written in pen, 412. And tomorrow's date. I stared at the receipt. Room 412. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. My hands stayed steady, years of handling irreplaceable watch movements had trained them not to shake. But something cold settled in my chest, like a mainspring coiling too tight. I photographed the receipt, returned it exactly where I'd found it, and went back to my workshop. The Omega sat there, partially disassembled, but I couldn't focus on its mechanics anymore. My mind was already mapping out tomorrow's moves. That night, Kira came home around 10, humming something unfamiliar. Good meeting? I asked, not looking up from the watch. Productive. We might land the Riverside Tower installation. She kissed my forehead, that jasmine perfume clouding around me. Coming to bed? Few more minutes. This escapement is being temperamental. She laughed, that new laugh again, and headed upstairs. I waited until I heard the shower running, then pulled up Henry on my phone. His Instagram was public. Drone racing videos, team photos, lots of technical equipment I didn't understand. But scattered between the racing content were pictures that made my jaw clench. Kira in the background of a team celebration photo from 2 weeks ago, a night she'd supposedly been at her sister's. Another showed a drone's eye view of a rooftop garden that looked suspiciously like the one where Kira maintained hives, posted with the caption scouting new perspectives. I switched to LinkedIn. Henry, founder and manager of Apex Racing Team. Previously worked in logistics consulting, which could mean anything. His profile showed endorsements from various business contacts, but the timeline had gaps. 6 months here, 8 months there. The pattern of someone who burned bridges. Sleep didn't come easy, but I forced myself through the motions. Morning routine. Breakfast with the kids. Kira rushing around, gathering her things. Site visit today, she announced, grabbing her coffee. Might run late. Which site? She paused for half a second. The Riverside complex. Taking Henry to show him the installation points for the drone footage. There it was. Room 412 at 3 p.m. disguised as a site visit. I'd given her an opening to tell the truth, and she'd painted another lie over it. After dropping the kids at school, I called Miranda Walsh. I'd found her through a client whose vintage Rolex had been lost by his business partner. She specialized in insurance investigation but took private clients. Her voice was professional, no nonsense. I need documentation, I told her. My wife's meeting someone at the Grandview Hotel today. Room 412. 3 o'clock. Today? That's short notice. I just confirmed it this morning. Can you handle it? I'll make it work. What level of documentation are we talking about? Everything legally permissible. Timeline, photos, behavior patterns. I need it bulletproof. Understood. My rate is... I don't care about the rate. There was a pause. Mr. Knox, I know this is difficult. But I need to ask, what's your end goal here? I thought about Theo's laugh when I taught him to ride that bike. Luna's insistence on purple everything. The life we'd built that Kira was dismantling while I restored other people's treasures. Truth, I said. I just need the truth. I'll be in position by 2:30. I'll call you after. I tried to work, but the Omega's gears might as well have been written in Sanskrit. Every tick of the workshop clock moved like sludge. At 2 p.m., I gave up pretending and drove downtown, parking 3 blocks from the Grandview. At 2:45, I watched Kira's car pull into the hotel's valet station. She emerged wearing the dress I'd bought her for our anniversary last year. The sight hit harder than I expected. Miranda called at 3:20. They're both here. Checked in under his name. I have photos of them entering together, clearly not a business meeting based on their body language. I need more than that. Mr. Knox, there are limits too. Not asking you to break laws. But I need to know if this is just an affair or something worse. She paused. I've been doing this 15 years. When spouses meet at hotels, they usually pick random ones. Using the same room repeatedly suggests comfort, routine. Like they've been doing this a while. How long would you guess? Months, minimum. But there's something else. I did a quick background check on Henry. His company's been hemorrhaging money. 3 sponsors pulled out last quarter, but he's still maintaining expensive operations. That money's coming from somewhere. My stomach turned. What about my wife's business? Public records show her company opened a secondary account 6 weeks ago. Unusual transaction patterns, regular deposits, immediate withdrawals. Classic pass-through behavior. She's laundering money for him? I can't make that accusation. But I'd strongly suggest you protect your assets before this goes further. Affairs are one thing. Financial crimes are another beast entirely. I sat in my car, watching the hotel entrance, mind racing. This wasn't just about our marriage anymore. If Kira was moving money illegally, it could destroy everything, the business she'd built, our savings, potentially even my workshop if assets got frozen. Miranda texted me photos. Kira and Henry in the lobby, his hand on her lower back. Another of them at the elevator, her laughing at something he'd said. The casual intimacy of people who'd forgotten to be careful. Mr. Knox, Miranda called back. I just spoke with a contact who works in corporate security. Henry's been under scrutiny for suspicious financial activities. Nothing proven yet, but investigators are circling. If your wife's involved, she could go down with him. Exactly. Whatever you decide to do, move fast. These situations have a way of exploding suddenly. I drove home, arrived before school pickup. Sat in my workshop staring at the Omega, its gears scattered across my workbench like the pieces of my marriage. The hotel receipt burned in my mind. Room 412. But now I knew it wasn't just a room number. It was a countdown to disaster. That evening, Kira came home at 6, all smiles and false cheer. How was the site visit? I asked. Perfect. Henry got amazing footage. This is really going to transform our marketing. She kissed my cheek, and I smelled it, not just her jasmine perfume, but something else. His cologne. The same scent that was probably still clinging to room 412 sheets. That's great, I said, my voice perfectly level. Can't wait to see the footage. Oh, he needs to edit it first. Professional quality takes time. Of course it does, I thought. Everything about this was taking time. Time to plan. Time to document. Time to prepare for what came next. That night, while Kira slept beside me, I made a decision. Tomorrow, I would go to room 414 myself. I needed to hear the truth from their own mouths. I told Kira I had a late restoration job, a customer's Audemars Piguet with water damage, rush priority. She barely looked up from her phone, just nodded and reminded me she had a Riverside meeting tomorrow. The Grandview Hotel sat downtown in the old financial district, all marble and false elegance. I checked into 414 at noon, carrying a small equipment case that usually held my watch tools. Today it held something different, a digital recorder and timestamp camera. The room smelled like old carpet and air freshener. I sat on the bed, staring at the wall that separated me from 412. These vintage hotels, built in the 1960s, had walls like paper. I could already hear the hum of the air conditioner next door. At 2:47 p.m., I heard the door to 412 open. Kira's laugh floated through the wall, bright and unfamiliar. Then Henry's voice, deeper than I'd expected, smooth like someone used to selling dreams. Finally, he said. Thought that meeting would never end. I had to make the story believable. Knox thinks I'm showing you Hive installation points. They both laughed. The sound hit me like a physical weight. My phone vibrated. Kira, sending me a photo of some rooftop, maintaining her alibi. I texted back, looks good. How's the meeting going? Great. Henry's getting amazing aerial footage. This will really sell the expansion to new clients. I screenshot her message with its timestamp. Then pressed record on the device. For the next hour, I sat perfectly still, documenting their affair with the same precision I used to rebuild watch complications. Every sound, every word, every moment that dismantled 8 years of marriage got captured in digital clarity. They ordered champagne. Kira giggled about how I was probably squinting at some stupid watch right now, counting gear teeth like they matter. Henry responded that at least I had a skill, unlike her pretend farmer husband playing with expensive toys. He's so predictable, Kira said. I heard the distinctive pop of a champagne cork. Every Tuesday he works late on restorations. Every Thursday he does his books. He's like one of his watches, mechanical, repetitive, boring. Perfect for us then, Henry replied. Speaking of which, did you move that last payment through? My ears sharpened. Payment? $20,000, like you asked. Listed it as Hive installation equipment in the books. Paul would lose his mind if he knew. Paul was her business partner, the majority investor. But after my promotion next month, I'll have signing authority on the main accounts. We can move serious money then. The team needs it. These sponsors are getting suspicious about the budget gaps. Once your promotion goes through and you can authorize larger transfers, I can cover everything. And then? Then we stop sneaking around. I'll leave Eleanor once the season ends. You file for divorce. We take what we've built and start fresh. Maybe Barcelona, like we talked about. Barcelona. She'd been planning an entire life while I'd been teaching our son to ride a bike. The conversation shifted to intimate sounds I won't describe. But between those moments, they kept talking. Kira detailed how she'd been documenting my controlling behavior, apparently, asking about her meetings counted as control, to strengthen her divorce position. The custody evaluator will eat it up, she said. Obsessive watchmaker who works late, never engages with the children's activities, versus devoted mother building an environmental business. I wanted to punch through the wall. When had I missed the kids' activities? I'd been to every school play, every soccer game, while she'd been here, room 412, building her case against me. My phone rang. Kira calling. I answered, keeping my voice steady. Hey, she said, slightly breathless. Just wanted to check in. The meeting's running long. No problem. Kids want pizza tonight, that okay? Perfect. I'll probably be another 2 hours. These environmental compliance discussions are so detailed. In the background, I heard Henry cough. Through the wall, I heard the same cough in stereo. Sounds thorough, I said. See you when you get home. Love you, she said. The words were ash in my mouth when I replied in kind. After she hung up, I heard Henry ask, what'd you call him? Maintaining normalcy. He likes these little check-ins. Makes him feel included. They laughed again. I kept recording. Then Henry mentioned something that changed everything. My lawyer says the investigation stalled. They're looking at the sponsor money but can't trace where it went. As long as Eleanor doesn't start digging into the quarterly reports, we're clear. She won't, Kira assured him. She's too busy saving kids to notice. Besides, after my promotion next month, we'll have enough to leave. Knox will never see it coming. I stopped the recording. My hands, those steady, trained hands, were shaking now. Not from betrayal anymore, but from rage. Clean, focused rage. They'd turned me into a mark. A predictable, boring mark in their con game. I picked up my phone and texted Miranda, I need everything on Henry's financial crimes. And I need Eleanor's contact information. It was time to stop documenting. Time to start dismantling. Miranda had Eleanor's information within 2 hours. By that evening, I was sitting across from a composed woman with tired eyes in a coffee shop near the hospital. Your husband's name came up in my investigation, I said, sliding a folder across the table. I hired a pie to follow my wife. The trail led to Henry. Eleanor studied me for a long moment before opening the folder. Photos of Kira and Henry entering hotels. Timestamps. The transcript from my recorded phone call, Kira's texts claiming to be at meetings. Her surgical hand stayed steady as she flipped through each page, but her jaw tightened with every revelation. How do I know this is real? She asked. You could be some jealous husband trying to break up Henry's relationships. I pulled out my phone, played 10 seconds of the recorded call. Kira's voice, talking to me while Henry coughed in the background. Eleanor's eyes closed. That's his cough. Chronic bronchitis from his racing days. She opened her eyes. How long? At least 4 months, based on the evidence. Maybe longer. She stared at the financial records. The sponsor money. I knew something was off. Racing teams don't need that much in equipment overhead. But Henry always had explanations. Supply chain issues, inflation, specialty parts. My wife's been laundering it through her beekeeping business. 20,000 so far, more planned after her promotion. Eleanor pulled out her own phone, showed me photos of bank statements, highlighted withdrawals. I started documenting 6 weeks ago. Thought maybe gambling, another woman. Never imagined this. What made you suspicious? Little things. New credit cards I never saw. Him insisting on handling team finances personally when he used to delegate everything. Password changes on our joint accounts. She met my eyes. What's your plan? Controlled demolition. They want to destroy our lives quietly? We returned the favor loudly. A sharp smile crossed her face. I need a week. There are more documents at his office, records he thinks I don't know about. And I want to protect my assets before this explodes. Can we trust you won't warn him? She laughed, bitter and sharp. Mr. Knox, I've spent 12 years building my practice while Henry played with his toys. I'm not losing everything because he couldn't keep his hands off sponsor money or your wife. We spent the next 2 hours building our strategy. Eleanor had access to Henry's financial records through their joint accounts, but she needed time to gather everything properly. We agreed to move in 1 week, enough time to be thorough, not so long they'd get suspicious. I called my attorney that night. Gregory Vance specialized in high-asset divorces and had seen every dirty trick in the book. The money laundering changes everything, he said after reviewing my evidence. She's compromised her fiduciary duty to her business partner. We can freeze assets based on criminal liability. The custody issue becomes clearer, though no guarantees until formal charges are filed. How fast can we move? I need a week minimum for proper documentation. We file too early with incomplete paperwork, she could counterfile and muddy the waters. Patience wins these cases. Tuesday, I met with Paul Harrison. Kira had mentioned he was traveling until Thursday, so I caught him at the airport lounge. He owned 60% of the company and had invested $500,000 into the expansion. Knox? What's this about? I showed him the financial records, the fake equipment purchases, the money flowing out of company accounts. His face went from confusion to disbelief to rage. These are our account numbers. These transfers. He pulled out his laptop, logged into the company banking portal. Hive installation equipment. I've been asking about these invoices for months. She said the suppliers were European, specialized. There were no suppliers. Just Henry's racing team. Paul's hands clenched. I need my lawyers on this. Forensic accountants. If she's stolen from the company. He paused. Her promotion. She's supposed to get signing authority next week. I'd reconsider that. It's cancelled. Emergency board meeting Friday. Don't let her know you've told me. I want to see what other lies she tries to sell before we shut this down. While the pieces moved into place, I maintained perfect normalcy at home. Harder than it sounds. Every smile felt like swallowing glass. But the kids needed normal, so I gave them normal. Kira remained oblivious, lost in her phone, probably texting Henry about their future. Thursday evening, Theo had a nightmare. I was comforting him when Kira came to check. For a moment, watching her smooth his hair, I saw the woman I'd married. Then she returned to bed, and I heard her phone buzz with another text. The moment shattered. Friday afternoon, Eleanor called. I have everything. Bank records, emails he forgot to delete, even found a second set of books for the team finances. My attorney says it's enough. Miranda found something too, I said. Henry's been under investigation for wire fraud. 3 months now. The authorities need direct evidence of where the money went. Then let's give it to them. Saturday morning, I took the kids to my mother's house. Told them mommy and daddy needed to handle some grown-up business. Theo asked if everything was okay. It will be, I promised. Sometimes grown-ups have to fix complicated problems. Like when I repair a really difficult watch. Will you fix it? Luna asked, hugging her purple stuffed dinosaur. Yeah, sweetheart. I'll fix it. Saturday evening, everything was positioned. Eleanor had submitted her evidence to the FBI through her attorney. Paul had frozen Kira's access to company accounts, pending Monday's emergency board meeting. My attorney had the divorce papers ready, custody petition prepared. At 8 p.m., Kira left for her emergency Hive situation. I waited exactly 10 minutes, then sent the first encrypted folder to Paul. The second went to Kira's mother. The woman deserved to know who her daughter had become. At 11 p.m., Eleanor texted, "Done. His sponsors have everything. My attorney says federal agents will move Monday morning." I looked at my phone. One more text to send. The one that would start the avalanche. At 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. "Kira, busy now, I'll call after." I stared at her text. "Busy now, I'll call after." My thumbs moved across the screen with the same precision I used to place watch jewels. "Don't bother. Stay with him. My line's closed to you." The house stayed silent for exactly 8 minutes. Then I heard it, tires screeching into our driveway, car door slamming, feet running up the walkway. She'd broken every speed limit getting here. The doorbell rang. Then pounding. "Knox. Open the door. Please." I walked downstairs slowly, phone in hand. She was visible through the side window, hair disheveled, jasmine perfume probably mixed with his cologne, eyes wide with an animal panic I'd never seen before. I opened the door but kept the chain on. "Knox, please, let me explain." "Explain what? The hotel rooms? The 20,000 you stole from Paul? Or maybe Barcelona?" Her face drained of color. "How do you?" I held up my phone and hit play. Her voice filled the night air from my recorded call. "Just wanted to check in. The meeting's running long." Then the background cough, identical to the one I'd heard through the wall. These environmental compliance discussions are so detailed. She stumbled backward. "You recorded my calls?" "Legal in our state. Unlike embezzlement." I kept my voice steady, controlled. "Did you really think I'd never notice? I rebuild complications worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I notice when a single screw is a half millimeter off. You think I wouldn't notice my wife disappearing? It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. And now it's what Paul thinks. What your mother thinks. What Eleanor thinks." Her phone started buzzing. She pulled it out with shaking hands. The notifications cascaded: emails, texts, missed calls. I watched her face cycle through confusion, horror, understanding. "My company email. It's locked. Paul called an emergency board meeting. You're suspended pending investigation for embezzlement." Another buzz. This time her mother calling. She declined it, but a text followed immediately. Even from where I stood, I could see the word disappointed. "You sent my mother the truth. Something you might not recognize anymore." Her phone rang again. Henry's name on the screen. She fumbled with it, accidentally hitting speaker while trying to answer. "Don't come back here." His voice was strangled, desperate. "Eleanor changed the locks. She has everything, accounts, documents, the second books. The sponsors already know. They're calling it fraud." "Henry, what about?" "There is no about. My lawyer just dropped me. Says the evidence is overwhelming. They're talking federal charges. Wire fraud, money laundering. You need to." She managed to hit the end button, staring at me. "You contacted his wife?" "We contacted each other. Turns out she's been documenting his crimes for months. Just needed the missing pieces. You provided those. Every transaction, every stolen dollar, every lie you told to cover it up." "Knox, please. The kids are safe at my mother's. My attorney has filed for emergency temporary custody based on the criminal investigation. Courts tend to favor the parent not under investigation for felonies." She dropped to her knees right there on our porch. The composed woman who'd mocked me in that hotel room was gone. This was someone watching their reality crumble. "I'll pay it back. All of it. I'll make this right." "With what? The money you stole? The promotion you'll never get? Or maybe the Barcelona fund you and Henry were building? How did you know about Barcelona?" Room 414. Amazing how sound travels in old hotels. Especially when you're laughing about your boring, predictable husband. Her face crumpled. "I didn't mean." "You meant every word. Just like you meant to paint me as an absent father to steal custody. Like you meant to rob your business partner. Like you meant to help Henry hide sponsor money from federal investigators." I reached behind the door and pulled out 3 items. She looked up as I handed them to her. First, the divorce papers. Already filed with the court, custody terms outlined, assets frozen pending investigation. These were filed yesterday. Irretrievable breakdown, with cause. Your attorney will get copies Monday. Second, keys to an apartment, the studio downtown she and Henry had secretly leased for their future together. I'd found the lease agreement in her car, both their signatures on it. "The apartment you and Henry got? It's all yours now. He won't be needing it. Consider it your consolation prize." Third, a printed email. She read the subject line, and her hands started shaking. "Notice of investigation. Kira Knox, suspected financial misconduct." That's from Paul's attorneys. And the forensic accountants. They'll need to interview you about every transaction, every equipment purchase, every invoice. Lying to them is also a felony, by the way. She looked up at me, mascara running now, that jasmine perfume nauseating in the night air. "You destroyed everything. I documented everything. You destroyed it all by yourself." Her phone buzzed again. She looked at the screen, and I saw her face go white. She turned the phone toward me with shaking hands. The email was from Henry's attorney, or former attorney. A forward of a federal filing. "Notice of criminal investigation. Henry, Apex Racing Team. Monday morning," I said. "Eleanor's attorney says that's when they'll move. You chose an interesting time to tell me to stay with him. The email from Henry's former attorney sat on Kira's phone screen. Notice of criminal investigation. Henry, Apex Racing Team. She stared at it, then at me, then back at her phone. The woman who'd planned to destroy my life while sipping champagne in hotel rooms was watching her own world implode in real time. They're really going after him? Wire fraud, embezzlement, tax evasion. Eleanor gave them everything. Your transfers to him? Those are evidence now. You're not his girlfriend, Kira. You're his accomplice. She tried to stand, but her legs wouldn't cooperate. I need to call my lawyer. You should. Though Paul's already hired the best financial crimes attorneys in the state for the company's case against you. Good luck finding someone willing to take your case at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. Another notification popped up on her phone. A text from someone at Riverside Tower. I recognized the name from her contacts. The contract, she whispered, reading. They're pulling out. They heard about the investigation. Corporate clients don't like associating with embezzlement scandals. Paul made some calls. Professional courtesy to warn them their vendor was under investigation. She finally stood, using the door frame for support. The kids, where are they? Safe at my mother's. She knows what's necessary. Your mother knows too. She read the evidence, called me an hour ago. Her exact words were I didn't raise a thief. That broke something in her. The tears came hard now, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no satisfaction, just the cold precision of a job completed. You've ruined my life. I documented your choices. You ruined your own life the moment you decided stealing was easier than honesty. She stood there for another moment, then turned and walked to her car. No more begging. We both knew it was over. Monday morning, Henry was arrested at his office. Not a dramatic pre-dawn raid, just federal agents walking him out in handcuffs at 9 a.m. while his employees watched. Eleanor texted me a link to the news story. I didn't feel victorious, just tired. Over the next 2 weeks, the full scope emerged. Paul's forensic accountants found Kira had stolen $37,000 over 4 months through fake invoices and phantom equipment purchases. The board voted unanimously to pursue criminal charges. The prosecutor offered her a deal, full restitution plus probation, or face trial and potential prison time. The custody hearing took place 3 weeks later. My attorney presented the evidence: financial crimes under investigation, the recorded calls proving deception, documentation of her affair during times she claimed to be working. Her attorney, court appointed because her assets were frozen, tried arguing the criminal investigation was separate from parenting ability. The judge disagreed. While charges are pending, the court finds it in the children's best interest to award temporary full custody to Mr. Knox. Ms. Knox will have supervised visitation on Saturdays, pending resolution of criminal matters. Kira took the plea deal. 2 years probation, full restitution to the company, surrender of her professional licenses. She moved into that studio apartment she'd leased with Henry, ironically, the only asset in her name that wasn't frozen. 6 months have passed now. Henry got 18 months in federal prison, out in 12 with good behavior. His racing team dissolved, sponsors pursuing civil suits to recover funds. Eleanor rebuilt her life, her practice thriving. We meet for coffee occasionally, not romantic, just two people who understand what the other survived. He writes from prison, she told me last week. Says he's changed, found religion, wants another chance. You read them? I burn them. Some things aren't worth repairing. Kira sees the kids Saturdays at a supervised facility. Theo asked me last week why mommy can't come home. I told him sometimes adults make bad choices that hurt people, and there have to be consequences. He seemed to understand, in that way kids do when they know something's broken but can't quite grasp why. Luna doesn't ask. She just colors everything purple and tells me about her dreams. Last night she asked if I could fix mommy like I fix watches. I told her people aren't watches, they have to fix themselves. I'm in my workshop now, late evening, working on a special piece. It's a vintage Cartier that belonged to my grandmother, one I'd planned to give Kira on our 10th anniversary. Instead, I'm restoring it for Luna. Something beautiful and precise, built to last generations if properly maintained. The workshop is peaceful. No more checking pockets for receipts, no more wondering about late meetings, no more jasmine perfume masking deception. Just the soft tick of mechanisms, the gentle buzz of the cleaning bath, the satisfaction of bringing order to chaos. My phone buzzes. Another text from Kira. She sends one every few weeks, always some variation of asking for another chance. I delete it without reading. My line remains closed. I return to the quartier, making a final adjustment to the escapement. It clicks into place, and suddenly the mechanism runs true, keeping perfect time after decades of neglect. Some mechanisms, once broken, aren't meant to be repaired. They're meant to be replaced with something better. And sometimes, the most precise repair is knowing when to stop trying to fix what was built to fail. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.